Childhood memories are hazy. For me, one does stick out. It's Christmas and I'm in my early teens. My 4 wide-eyed brothers burst into our living room overjoyed. I come in later, wrapped in a blanket, and sit as far away from my family as I possibly can. In a green chair, in a room full of presents, a tree that sparkles, and a secret that is to stay wrapped forever. I am lonely, little, small, and sad in this chair. Presents accumulate around my feet, but they go untouched. My brother puts a gift in my lap and I push it away. Cards that read "Love Mom" and "Love Dad" go unopened because these words don't make any sense to me. I'm staring off blankly into the distance as shout starts to stream out. "You're ruining Christmas! Open your presents!" But I'm unresponsive. I'm wrestling with a common event that happened night after night, despite the fact that this was Christmas Eve. For the first time in my life, I'd actually stopped my father from raping me, but I had endured a merciless beating that left lasting scars. I'm wrestling with a mother who once again was sweeping the horrors under a carpet that never saturated. And I'm wrestling being in a house where my screams go unanswered. They never did. This memory is so vivid, so clear to me, because my father actually videoed this particular Christmas. Every year afterwards, my brother would find this tape, pop it in the VCR, and it would play over and over year after year, making me relive this day again and again. I see people in green chairs everywhere. People ignored or hurting, people stereotyped and blamed for society's ills, hidden in plain sight, much like I was as a child, people ruining Christmas. So imagine my shock when one day I realized early in my career that I was not immune to this blindness. Despite my experiences, I too was isolating people. I lived in southern Africa for 16 years and was relentlessly focused on water supply. Clean water flowing in a village that had been without is magical. One day I'm driving down the road, my car breaks down. A group of South Africans come and push my car into their village. A bush mechanic works his magic and my car reawakens. An elder shakes my hand and asks, "Why is it that you pass by my village all these days?" And I tell him about our work. And he says, not unkindly, "Did you ever think of stopping in our village? Because we too would welcome water." A community in a green chair right in front of me. Now, truth be told, this happens all the time. Development projects pick some villages over others, pick some people over others, winners and losers along rural roads. This happens in the United States as well. It's hardly an African problem. LGBTQ people are undermined. Rural hospitals are closing, pushing healthcare further away from farmers all across the United States. Residents in Flint, Michigan are still drinking dirty water. People in green chairs, winners and losers everywhere. So I sat back and I said, what would it be like if we actually stopped doing that? What would it be like if we stopped picking winners and losers, stopped picking some families over others? How would that work? Well, we gave it a try. We called it Everyone Forever, forged in a living room, tested throughout southern Africa, and finally birthed in the hills of Rwanda by Water for People. This program transformed. Success was simply defined. Every family, every school, and every clinic got access to water. Every village, every community, no questions asked, within a geographic area, a county run by a mayor with Thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions of people scattered across villages. Success was only sustained when every family, every school, and every clinic kept that water flowing and never needed international aid or philanthropy ever again, forever. We started in 30 counties across Africa, India, and Latin America, and we said there was only one rule. Everyone meant everyone. Every village, not some villages. Every school, not some schools. Every clinic, not some clinics. Everyone meant everyone. You couldn't leave anyone behind. And what we found is mayors and community members embraced this because they knew and they had felt at some time abandoned in a green chair. Critics mocked us. They said, "Where's the plan? Where's the finance?" But guess what? Water started flowing. It was actually amazing. Engineers redesigned so that those hardest to reach could actually get water. Those too poor to pay were cross-subsidized by wealthier families, and they got precious jobs. They were given jobs so that they could earn an income and actually pay their water bills. Everyone meant everyone. People sat back. A mayor in Bolivia literally said to everyone in his constituency, thousands and thousands of people, he said, "Paint a water drop on your house if you have clean water." He then spent months going village to village, walking straight to the houses that didn't have a water drop on it, talked to them, saw them, and said, "By the time I come back again, I want to see this house is connected," and they were. Everyone Forever forced people to pick up their eyes and look at people in green chairs. The family that was suspected of being HIV positive was embraced. Women who were accused of committing adultery or witchcraft were welcomed back in. Families who had fought on the wrong side of civil wars were seen differently when it was learned that they were actually just children when they were taken by the other side. Foreigners crept in silently. This thing started to take off because people saw themselves in it. One day, a county in Honduras raises its hand and says, "I think we got everyone. Every family, every school, and every clinic has water." People said that was impossible, so national government went door to door, house to house, and confirmed, in fact, that every family, every school, and every clinic did have water. An opposition county in Bolivia raised its hand next, and it was confirmed. An island network in West Bengal, India, followed, and then more Bolivian counties started to claim everyone forever status. Finally, 21 slum areas in the city of Malawi said every family, every school, and every clinic has access to water. This thing was taking off. This thing got beyond water for people. Other organizations had to adopt the same policy. Money started to flow in fundamentally different ways. It spread to new counties and new countries because it was irresistible. Everyone forever was unstoppable. I remember on one of my last trips to Bolivia that I was with a community of women who spearheaded Everyone Forever in this county. We were eating potatoes, drinking Fanta Orange, which is special. and a woman pops up and she says, "Do you want to go see the woman who was the last person in our county who got water? Do you want to go see the woman who helped us achieve Everyone Forever and who made us whole?" Before I could say anything, we jump in a car. We're driving up a mountain towards the sky. We turn a corner, and I see a blue pipe coming down the mountain to this house that is standing all alone, nothing else around it. I meet a grandmother named Fructosa, and she is so sweet. She talks about how cars used to pass in front of her house and never stopped. She talks about how she's invisible. And she says, I am now seen, I am someone, I belong, and I am thankful. Communities healing and feeling whole, combined with forgiveness from a grandmother. I saw this over and over and over again all over the world. And I realized that Everyone Forever was way beyond water. So despite all this momentum and a 27-year career that I loved, I actually walked away. I left the water and sanitation sector, and I turned back into the trauma that characterized my childhood, because I felt that Colorado needs Everyone Forever as well. I joined the Tennyson Center for Children, which works with children and families who are experiencing extreme trauma from abuse and neglect. We help them stabilize. We help them step out of their green chairs. We see their strength and resilience, and we help them reintegrate back into our community. It's early days, but we're unleashing Everyone Forever here in Colorado in 7 counties across our great state, with the hope of it growing just like it did in the water sector. And as we do this, we're asking everyone to hold one story in their heart. Mine is of a boy who's a teenager, who's been in the child welfare system for years. He was taken away from his family. He's been bouncing from hospitals to foster homes to residential facilities. He has a failed adoption until he finally comes to Tennyson. He starts to stabilize. He starts to sleep through the night. And he starts to inch away from his green chair. Progress is significant, and so we actually get him on a football team. And wow, do they stink. They are terrible. 4 games into the season, they haven't scored yet. It's scoreless again. And this boy gets a handoff, and he bursts through the line, surges forward, and breaks for the end zone. He's running towards something instead of away from something. He's absolutely unstoppable. He scores, he's mobbed, parents scream his name, and the thing is, the parents have no idea who this kid is. In another time, in another age, he would have been called an orphan, but right now he's just a teammate, he's just a kid. And he is celebrated. So at the end of the game, I walk over, I give him a hug, and I say, "That's an amazing touchdown, brother." And he looks up at me, and he says, "Did you see they were blocking for me?" I believe we can build a world that we all imagine, where forgiveness and hope, reconciliation and healing flood over us and cleanse us all. It happens when we decide that everyone truly means everyone, and we walk towards people in green chairs instead of walking away. It's a world where we block instead of tackle, where thoughts and prayers turn to action, and it's a world where we walk in kinship with one another, with everyone, forever. Thank you.